favor, everybody. If you haven't already, please engage with the content. Give the video a thumbs up. Uh-oh, where'd the chat go? Let's get back into this chat. There we go with chat. Let's go. Give shit, sorry, just kick my desk. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It's Burn It Down with Kim Brown here on YouTube at BIDWKB. You can support us also. BIDWKB, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, or you can support us on Patreon as well. Patreon.com/BIDWKB. So this next story I wanted to bring comes out of I see now more so, not to say I didn't see it before, but there is absolutely a need to continue to expose those who are harmful to vulnerable people in our society, whether or not people abuse children, women, disabled people, take advantage in financially harm, emotionally, mentally, physically, sexually. Like I'm here for these things because I think exposure is a helpful thing, not only for any sort of public shame, but to sort of broaden the perspective in the minds of most people about who abusers really are, right? And I can understand why some people would say all this talk around Diddy and R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein and all this. Well, these are kind of distractions because these people are celebrities. They operate at a different level. On some point, yeah, there's some truth to that. But to be clear, wolves wear all kinds of uniforms. Wolves sit at every station in society, from the top to the bottom, right? And I think it's important that we try to realize who some predators in our community are. And in this case, this story comes out of Houston, Texas. This month, it was revealed allegedly a 42-year-old teacher who teaches cosmetology for, I believe, the Klein ISD. What does that I be standing for in them Texas? What's that shit stand for? Integrated, international, intelligent. I don't fucking know. The Klein ISD, the something, the school district. This is in the Houston area. Okay. This teacher has now been arrested. Former teacher now has now been arrested along with her adult son and charged with allegedly sex trafficking some of her students into prostitution. And these girls that she is alleged to have exploited are the ones that needed the most help and support. Some of these girls were runaways. Some of them were having problems at school. Some of them had unstable home lives, right? And there's a couple of layers to this story. So I want us actually, well, cue up the package, the KHOU, the short one, so we can get the quick overview, right? But of course, when it comes to Black and brown girls, especially, there's layers to this and there's levels to this. And there are allegations that, in fact, the school district had been made aware that there was potential issues with this one teacher and her activities she and her son were apparently committing, but no action was taken immediately. Why not? But let me tell y'all what happened. So let's get the update from KHOU in Houston.
Arrest a Klein ISD teacher. Kedria Grigsby is charged with trafficking a child and compelling prostitution. According to Klein High School's website, she is a cosmetology teacher.
Now here's the story. Grigsby and her son, Roger McGee, are facing the same charges. They're accused of working together. The sheriff's office says the teacher was recruiting troubled teens from the district who had run away from home, offering them a hotel room to stay in. Gonzalez tweeting tonight they know of 3 victims so far, but more have already come forward. He's asking anyone with any more information to give the sheriff's office a call, and we'll keep you up to date on the investigation.
Yep. So there's that. So there you have it. Grigsby arrested. Miss Grigsby's been arrested there. She and her adult son charged with sex trafficking. Now, at first, I don't automatically believe what the cops say, right? I mean, because we know police lie about all kinds of things, right? And especially when it comes to charging Black people, sometimes the charges can be such, it's like, well, wait, well, how did y'all get to this felony when it was clearly this, or it was a misunderstanding or whatever? I'm trying to get people that. You know what I'm saying? But I saw this press conference from a local activist there in Houston, and I gotta say, my man's was making points. Okay. Now, again, I'm not from the Houston area. I do not know this person or these people. So I'm gauging it just sort of like everybody else is, right? I'm a layperson. I'm outside looking from the inside, trying to ascertain what is or was being done allegedly to these students, these high school students, right? So, okay, so we've got the teacher and her son arrested and now charged. But I want us to hear from an activist in the Houston area. His name is Quanell X. Quanell sound like he from Little Rock. I feel like I know a couple Quanells. Quanell. I feel like y'all might know a couple Quanells. Like, I'm telling you, I know a Quanell somewhere. But anyway, brother Quanell X. I'm not 100% certain of the organization, if any, that he represents, but he seemed to have some appraisal of this situation. And he was covered here. Who did this? This is from Fox 26 in Houston. They let him talk. They let him talk. I'm gonna let him talk for a few minutes here also, because I want y'all to peep and listen. Really, the kind of case that my brother is about to outline here for us. He sounds extremely credible, and I am deeply inclined to believe him. Now, listen, just to preface, part of what he's going to suggest here is that school administrators were made, again, well aware of these allegations of sex trafficking of the students in the high school well before the sheriff's office was notified, and certainly well before Miss Grigsby and her adult son were ever arrested. So why wasn't there immediate action taken when when school administrators were made aware of these allegations? Well, I have my theories, but I'll let y'all come up with your own theories. But let's hear from brother Quanell X as he addressed the media there near the Klein ISD school district out there in the Houston, Texas area. Let's take a listen.
Brought with that response was that they were unable to meet with this teacher when she was trying to state the concerns and also provide.
Wait, hold on. Is that the beginning? Wait, start that from the run that. You guys started from the beginning, Will, because I think the brother was talking first and then the sister came on. Yeah, so let's start that take it from the top. Tippy.
I'm gonna just play it off YouTube. Hold on one second.
Yeah. Bone. Hey. What's up, y'all? I wasn't expecting to talk right now. So, how's it going? Everybody good? All right. Y'all know some dirt balls in y'all community? Send me tips. Send me the tips. Don't just send me Diddy tips. Don't just send me. And by the way, y'all, all to get on and very quickly off Diddy real quick, y'all. There's so much speculation about who Diddy been doing to do with out here. Some wild. It's fucking wild. We good, Will? Let's run it. Go ahead, run. This is a Quanell X, y'all.
To be honest and tell the truth, this is one of the most horrendous stories we have ever had to deal with in my history as an activist. We're talking about a teacher, a trusted servant teacher on a high school campus, recruiting prostitutes from her students to work for her son as their pimp. This teacher, Miss Grigsby, was allowed to remain on this campus after it was brought to the school administrator's attention that this was taking place in February of 23. This was brought to their attention. But these same administrators, instead of thoroughly investigating the complaint, they retaliated against the teacher who brought it to their attention When I spoke with the district the other day, I said, how could you not know or tell the parents about all of this? They swore for God that they did not know. They swore for God that they had no information about this until law enforcement called them and say, we're going to arrest Miss Grigsby today. Well, I say to Klein Kane administrators, you a damn lie. We got the proof. Where's the dog? Open it up. Open it up. Let me show these lying snakes here at this school. And we want all the parents to see this. Here's a complaint back in February 23, a sworn statement by the teacher that named Miss Grigsby, that named what law enforcement brought to her attention. Law enforcement went to her house about her daughter, who was one of the victims, and she came the next day and informed the school of what was happening in detail in a statement about the prostitution ring, who's the teacher that was involved, and the young man's name that was involved. And the school district took a statement in the office with the principal and the district representative. And now you lying snakes want to tell the public that you had no idea about Miss Grigsby. Oh no, that's a lie. We got it right here. We got text messages where she's texting back and forth with school administrators talking about what she brought to their attention. But yet they did nothing. The principal should be terminated. And I would say to the police chief, why they never brought it to your attention? It was brought to their attention. We got the documents. It was brought to their attention in detail in February of 23. Why they didn't do a duty, brother, to speak to U.S. police chief? You should do your job now and start indicting these officials at this school for failure to notify. They didn't notify law enforcement, and they did not notify the parents. And as parents, they had a right to know that their children were a part of a prostitution ring. And you left the teacher after the report was given, after the case number with Harris County Sheriff's Department was given. You left that teacher on this campus to a few days ago. She was allowed to remain for a few days ago. This don't pass the smell test. All of y'all should be fired.
Well, they always say the chicken's gonna come home to roost. So back in November of 2022, Roger, which is the son of Miss Grigsby, was arrested. Okay, this information was brought to the district by this former teacher back on February 21st, 2023. Okay, so when this teacher brought it to Miss Nicole Patton, Shayna Jobert,
Go ahead.
and Robert Cabal,
Call the names.
was who she spoke to on that campus on February 21st, 2023. Carrie Evel, E-L-V-E, is one who took the statement on February 21st, 2023. Miss Davis is who came to the campus and called the principal as well as this former teacher in to either for her to demand to resign or to be terminated because she blew the whistle on Miss Grigsby because her daughter was involved. This same parent reached out to me, this parent/teacher reached out to me back in 2023 because when her daughter was caught in the hotel back in 2022, the daughter had charges on her. And so she ended up getting legal counsel. So then when she got the legal counsel, then her daughter was no longer in trouble. They found out that the daughter was the victim. Okay, so when we go from there, we got emails in reference to after the whistle was blown, then we got retaliation. Back in February 24th, 2023, that was sent. Okay, so this email was sent to Carrie, E-L-V-E-L-V, which is with Klein ISD.
Name the date.
On February 24th, 2023 at 11:05 a.m. talking about new concerns. Okay, then it was brought with that response was that they were unable to meet with this teacher when she was trying to state the concerns and also provided evidence about what was going on.
But remember, February 23rd is when she reported. She reported on February 23rd to district officials. And on February 24th, they were talking about having a meeting with her. You understand? A secondary meeting. So I just cannot wait since the district officials are here. Y'all are here, right? Are y'all here? Or cat got your tongue now? So I can't wait for you all to come on up here and tell us what you've been telling to the public that you did not know about this.
But wait a minute. But then it was another email that was sent on February 21st, which was the very first email. February 21st, 2023 at 5:23 p.m. by the former teacher, where it states evidence of allegations. The former teacher provided evidence of the text messages that this young man, who is now locked up in Harris County, that was sending to her directly, threatening her. So this was also sent to Miss Carrie Elvey on February 21st, 2023. And this teacher asked to be remained anonymous.
That's good, Will. Let's cut it. I think that was plenty. Yes. A couple things there. First of all, Black people with receipts are unfucking defeated. Do you understand? Do not play games with Black folks who have an established paper trail, baby, because they are going to present the evidence. You understand? They are going to present the evidence. And I appreciate them obviously keeping very much on top of this situation. And you heard some of the dates that they referenced in some of the evidence that they presented there. February of 2023 is when another teacher, as they refer to her as a whistleblower, who is also the parent of a student that was allegedly being exploited by Miss Grigsby and possibly her adult son as well. And you heard that here we are, April 2024, and February 2023 is when some notice was given to the school administrators or to the school district itself. So we're talking about over a year that it was known, or at least made aware, brought to the attention of school officials, and the teacher was allowed to remain. And yet the whistleblower, per the activists that we just saw, received professional retaliation, was given an ultimatum to either resign or be terminated, and also allegedly received threats from Miss Grigsby's son for this lady, I suppose, even dropping a dime about the situation. And, one of my first reactions was going to be, well, the reason why school officials sat on this information for so long is because there are Black and brown girls and they just didn't care. That might be part of it, but maybe that's too reductive, right? It actually may be way more sinister than that. School officials are mandated reporters, right? Just like doctors, nurses, teachers. Like if you get an allegation or an accusation that a child is in danger or somehow being harmed, school officials are supposed to mandate by law, report this to law enforcement or somebody, right? They're not supposed to just sit on that shit, right? They're supposed to go tell. They're supposed to go tell. So if the administration or school officials were made aware of these allegations for over a year, why didn't they tell? Why didn't they report this to law enforcement? Would anybody like to venture a guess? Are y'all thinking what I'm thinking? This is my opinion only. Somebody's in on this shit, man. Some other adult besides Miss Grigsby, who was alleged to be, leading the sexual exploitation of these students, somebody else besides her was profiting off that. Somebody else was getting a cut or also actively abusing these children, right? These young girls. Why else would you not say nothing unless you was reaping the benefits of it in some way via the outright sexual abuse or you getting a cut, right? Like why, why not say nothing? Unless you in on the shit, right? Which, y'all, is not beyond the scope of possibility. There are all kinds of outright institutions, organizations, et cetera, that you may not think would be benefiting off exploitation of children in some way, either exploiting them sexually in this case, or exploiting them for their labor, or exploiting kids. But this is par for the course. So anyway, but hold on, back to my point. I was going to say, like, oh yeah, they allowed this to go on because this is black and brown girls, but then I immediately thought about the news pertaining to the USA gymnasts. If you guys remember, Simone Biles and them, not only did they come on Capitol Hill and testify before Congress about how Larry Nassar was allowed to just be a wolf among all of these young girls. But when the girls reported it to the FBI, I believe it was the Indianapolis field office, their reports went ignored by the agent that took their statements. In fact, he sat on it for several months. And during the course of the several months that the local FBI there in Indiana was doing fuck all about a notorious child sexual predator, he was able to abuse dozens of more gymnasts, right? So the Department of Justice is apparently coming to the end of a monetary settlement. I think the number I've heard mentioned is $100 million, somewhere in there, that they're going to settle with these gymnasts who were victims of Nassar and who sued the FBI because they outright did not give a single fuck. And to be clear, Simone Biles being the face, right? But most of these gymnasts are not little black girls, right? Most of these gymnasts are white girls, right? And they didn't give a single fuck. The FBI knew that white children was being abused. They didn't give a single shit. And that is because, y'all, the currency of girls' bodies, maybe even more broadly, we could say children's bodies, because I don't ever want to exclude boys and males being the victims of sexual abuse and exploitation, because it absolutely happens. And to be clear, I don't for certain know the gender of all the students potentially involved with this child sex exploitation scandal happening there outside of Houston. I'm assuming they're girls, right? But girls' bodies are currency, right? Like, you can barter for it. It's worth value to some. It's monetary, all kinds of value. Like, when, and it doesn't. I mean, and sure, there is race and class hierarchy within that, but it's like all girls' bodies are on the table, right? Like, every single one. And this is what I need to cease happening. Like, well, not just cease. Of course, we need all the abuse to cease happening. But circling back to the whole reason I even brought the story in the whole first fucking place is that this woman, if the charges against her, against Miss Grigsby and her son, are true, who would have thought the cosmetology teacher was the one trying to be a madam and pimping out teen girls from school, from her own school? That whole concept, that scenario just sounds absolutely maddening and deeply improbable. But, and again, this lady is innocent until proven guilty. For all the fuck I know, the cops might be pinning some shit on this lady. I don't know. I really don't. But it looks bad. And my suspicion is that she's not, and she and her son are not the only ones in on this teen prostitution ring, right? I have a feeling that there are others, which is why it was sat on. The information what was sat upon for over a year and some change, right? So that's my personal suspicions. We're gonna get back to that as the story continues to unfold. But it's teachers, y'all. It's Sunday school teachers. It's coaches. It's your daughter's best friend's stepdad. It's any fucking body, right? It doesn't have to be Diddy at the mansion with the roofies. It don't have to be that, y'all. Anyway, I want to do more of these kinds of stories, because I am telling you, the faces of danger for our kids out here and for vulnerable people out here are average, ordinary faces. They're not famous faces. they're not always people that are even in positions of power, but usually they are in positions of trust in some way, right? That's how they are able to gain access to these kids, to groom them and to do what they want with them next. Like, it's because they are in positions of trust and responsibility. And what the signs are to spot these kinds of folks, I'm not exactly sure, but I know that when a whistle is blown and when someone tries to bring awareness and sound the alarm, yeah, the whistleblower usually gets the blowback and the pushback, right? Because allegations of abuse and harm are even still now in 2024 widely disbelieved. And why it made so skeptical. Like, again, this whole notion that rape culture has created cancel culture is a lie. It's a lie, y'all. It's a lie. There's no cancel culture. And if there is cancel culture, I assure you it has not been effectively applied as often with success as some people seem to think. Okay, it's very few people that have actually been true victims of cancel culture. So anyway, keep an eye out, y'all. Not only for the predators, but when people make accusations, when you start to hear whispers and the shit don't look right and the shit don't smell right, and you look at the situation like, even if you're not able to put your finger on it, it's imperative that you don't ignore your own instincts in a situation, even if it doesn't have even if it's a situation that doesn't apply to you directly. You can look at some shit from a distance on the news or heard in the community and be like, I do not know about that. I do not know about that. But try to support people in the ways that you can, at least by listening to them and not discounting them when they are trying to bring forward shit that might sound unpopular, shit that might sound unfathomable or deeply unlikely from the person that the allegation is being made against. At least listen to it. You don't have to believe it right away, but at least listen to it and then try to figure it out for yourself.